St. Luke's has been working in Ulyanovsk, Russia since 1992. Each year brings its own flavor and new excitement for both the Russians and the Americans. 2008 was no exception. Dear members of St. Luke's United Methodist Church, my name is Alexander. I work at Ulyanovsk Regional Hospital, and I first met members from your church in 1992 when the first group from your church came to Ulyanovsk. I made a lot of special friends in Oklahoma and at St. Luke's since then. I am not going to tell you their names, they can tell you themselves. I always remember to pray for my friends and know that they pray for me. This is my third visit to the United States, Integris Baptist Medical Center, and your church. The supplies you bring to our clinic are very important. The relationship that we have is important, and so is this church. We brought medical supplies to our Russian physician associates, and 3 Oklahoma doctors met with various members of the medical staff at Ulyanovsk Regional Hospital.
Pathologic cyst? And fractures? He had a cyst in his jaw that, because it made the walls of the mandible so thin, it broke. It's called a pathological fracture.
Dr. John Taylor began the week living and working with doctors in the oral surgery department.
Surgery was a success. We were able to reestablish the angle of the jaw through braces and ligature wire, which basically holds it in place. His bite was good, and so hopefully he'll heal well and heal properly. It's been an honor to be able to assist Tagir, my friend, and I look forward to doing it in the future. And I'm a general dentist, so I don't go to the operating room very often at all. In fact, the last time was in dental school. But I was able to go in and assist them in surgeries, and that was, I love surgery anyway, but this was a little bit more involved than I'm used to. Yet I knew in my head, I knew exactly what was going on, and to be there and to be able to assist and see these surgeries, it felt great. And you know, I was growing as much as, probably more than actually giving them help. So it was a really fun and intriguing experience.
Dr. Bill Kroom has been many times, yet he continues to be touched by the love and care he shares with his hosts and enjoys his interactions with the Russian oral surgeons.
This fall, I just returned from my 4th trip to Ulyanovsk, Russia. In 1995, when I first decided to go to Russia, I think my decision to go was based upon curiosity and adventure, but also a sense of wanting to serve in mission. During that first trip, I made a lot of acquaintances at the hospital that I worked in, as well as at the church and in the community. When I returned from that first trip, I had given no thought to when I might return to Russia, or if in fact I ever would. But as each year ticked away, I began to develop a sense of wanting to return. And so it was through those early relationships and friendships that I made that allowed me to want to go back. Much like us, in that they have similar concerns. They were concerned about world events as well as their local economy. They were concerned about the future for their children. And so we all have similar interests, and it's fun to share ideas and how we can overcome some of the adversities that we face. It's also been fun to watch the church grow and the excitement in the church, and watching particularly the young people grow and the energy that they have. I can just tell you that if you have an opportunity to participate in a Russian mission, I would encourage you to do so. The rewards that you will obtain are more than you will ever know.
My name is Nina, and I work at Children's Hospital No. 1. I've been a member of Ulyanovsk Methodist Church for more than 10 years. I first came to the church in 1995 and began singing in the choir right away. Our church does a lot for our children's hospital. We've bought toys, small chairs, and have built a new wall for the playroom. I really love our church and feel very close to everyone in it, but I work most of the Sundays, so I can't always come. When I am able to come, I find great happiness in singing hymns and seeing everyone. I want to thank you, our friends, that you're building a bridge between our two countries. I believe we'll always be friends, and I want to tell you that I'm always happy to see you here. I'm always happy to see Lorraine and her friends, and know that one day maybe we'll come to Oklahoma and visit you. I love remembering the camp that we had in 2007. I don't usually get a chance to go on vacation, and this camp was like a perfect vacation for me. I really enjoyed learning new things about God, reading the Bible, and at the same time playing all sorts of games. We shared our thoughts on Bible stories, which was really awesome. I'm so happy that you've been able to come here and see our work in the hospital. Even though we have many difficulties, I love working here, and I love my coworkers and my patients, and love my job.
Есть такая община, которая нам помогает, на которую можем опереться. Потому что как представитель этой общины я просто обращаю внимание, поэтому мы очень благодарны.
So the hospital is very grateful for the church who provide some help, some financial help and spiritual help for the doctors and the children.
Everyone at Ulyanovsk United Methodist Church has completed Disciple Bible 1 and 2 courses, which currently are the only ones translated into Russian. Pastor Nadia asked for another study to continue their faith journey. So, Dr. Lorraine Harris led a seminar series introducing them to Celebration of Discipline by Richard Foster.
I'd like to tell you about our youth group. For me, becoming a youth leader was a real challenge. At first, it was difficult for me to talk about God, but now I understand how much I've grown. The youth help me do a better job, and they help with all the other church programs as well. They've grown up not only physically, but also spiritually. You can truly see the Holy Spirit in them. Youth work has taught me to be patient and to love others as I love myself. I used to be much more emotional, but now God has changed me. I think you've seen our singing youth. We've been working on our youth worship team for several years and doing a lot of practicing. I think our abilities are improving, and what's most important is that God lives in the heart of every member of our team. For me, song is my best form of prayer. My name is Marina Kornilova, and I'm the church choir director. I've been trying really hard to put church in first place in my life, but life and work sometimes get ahead of that. I take part in most of the church programs and have been a church member for many years. However, only 5 years ago, I started noticing God's work in my life, and it's become so obvious to me, almost like a blind person seeing again, which is how I see God working in my life. I think that our church will continue to grow, but our sister churches are very important also, as it's a difficult time to be a Methodist in Russia. Orthodoxy is the main religion, and many people prefer not to go to any church at all, rather than try something different. I used to feel the same way, but not anymore. It's so important for me to be a Methodist, because there I've found freedom from meaningless ritual while really feeling God at work in my own life. I'm trying to be more patient and loving towards others as I've begun to understand the gospel. I began only by reading prayers that I learned by heart, but now I talk directly to God. I feel a real personal relationship with God and know Him as my friend. I know what He sacrificed for me, so I will always try to be sure that He can rely on me. My name is Ekaterina. I sing in the choir and youth group, and I really enjoy the atmosphere of sharing together. The church always has something going on. I didn't really know anything about spiritual matters before I came to the church, but now I'm learning, and my husband Vova helps me to understand things in new ways. The church helps us as newlyweds to have better communication with true understanding, forgiveness, and love for each other.
My name is Volva, and I am a leader of the worship group. I thank God for allowing me to worship Him through music. One of my favorite lessons in the Bible is the story of the Good Samaritan. The message has impacted my life.
My name's Kira Volkova, and I serve as a Methodist pastor in Kirov, Russia. Growing up in Ulyanovsk, I went to the Methodist Church there since I was 10. In this church were two pastors who affected my decision to become a minister. The life examples of Pastor Nadia Nishtaeva and Reverend Tom Hoffman made a big impact on my life. After I graduated from the Methodist Seminary in Moscow, I was sent to be pastor in Kirov. There I work with children, youth, and adults, and I visit the children's hospital and work with those children who are there. I believe the Ulyanovsk Church helped me realize that I want to be a minister, and they've supported me in that decision and continue keeping me in their prayers to this day. They're always so happy and loving when I come to see them. I think it's very important for a church to grow not only in numbers, but also spiritually, and to encourage their members to be true disciples. I am thankful to God for the Ulyanovsk Church. I'd like to begin with Paul's words, "I can do anything through Christ who gives me strength." These words our church understands really well now. I want to tell you about the people that go to our church. Some of them have been coming for 10 or 15 years, which is a lot for someone in Russia. They also take their service into the world. They go into the nursing home and children's hospital, as well as visiting homebound people. Our United Methodist Women's Group collects money to help people pay for medication that they wouldn't be able to buy for themselves. Our people understand that they should serve the world, not just serve God from inside the church. I think this is our main achievement in these past 15 years. Our church's future is our children and youth. They are our hope and joy. We're trying to help our children grow as good Christians, and our youth are involved in all the work of the church. They're always the first to do whatever needs to be done. They go to the children's hospital where they serve by washing windows, visiting children, doing concerts, and bringing gifts.
Dom Presseril is a retirement home run by the government, and the church in Ulyanovsk started coming here as a mission outreach of the church, and this has grown into its own church, which was called St. Luke's United Methodist Church when they started it. And it's a wonderful celebration of God's Spirit here. The people always help each other. You've got people in the church here who help those who can't feed themselves by going around and feeding them, or if people are blind, they help them walk to get to where they need to go. And so you really see the spirit of God's community in action. I love coming here and spending time with the people because it really renews my faith. They are constantly praying, and they pray for all of us and remember all of us, and are very interested in what's happening in the United States. Today when we were here, one of the ladies mentioned that for her, we represent the United States, and so she loves the U.S. as much as we do, she says, because she sees it in us. And that's how I feel about these people. They represent Russia, and they represent God to me and God's love.
Sam Horst was on his third trip to Russia and says that his host, Pastor Dina, has become a true sister to him.
I first came to Ulyanovsk and with a group from St. Luke's United Methodist Church. I came and enjoyed myself so much that I have taken the church and the nursing home as part of our project. My wife Ruby and I, we have gathered clothing and for the nursing home, and we've come and made distribution with the people, and I'm just so pleased to be here. And I just have made dear friends with Dina, pastor of this church, and I just love her so much. And each time we come, we renew our friendship, and I just think the world of her.
Dina is the pastor of the retirement home church called St. Luke's Church and works tirelessly to encourage her congregation.
My prayer. My God, unite nations and give us a language of love. We are all part of nature, and we should all unite for good deeds, so that we only imagine wars in our dreams. For us, the example of Babylon shows us the way evil can work. We have enough bad things happening without wars. So let our children grow up surrounded by love, and every year bring us more of your happiness.
1, 2, 3.
My name is Chuma
My name is Tuma.
6 years old.
I'm very pleased to have guests from Oklahoma in our home, guests who we've been waiting for, guests we really love. I really want to tell you how I came to God. It happened through people from Oklahoma. They brought me to church for the first time, and at first it didn't really touch me. But after I started reading the Bible and going to church, I realized that I can't live without God. I'm really happy about that, and God's will was for me to become a pastor. I certainly wasn't expecting that. Now I'm the pastor at the nursing home church. I find comfort and love in my church members, and when we read the Word of God, we always find new messages from God. We're trying to follow everything that God teaches us. I try to tell about God as much as I can to my church members and to share with them all my knowledge. Now I live in peace with God and peace with myself and those around me, which is the most important thing for me.
Ты уповай на Бога и моя, и враги мои вновь говорят мне, ну где же Бог? Как он желает потоком воды, так желает душа тебе, мой Бог. Аллилуйя! Аллилуйя!
First of all, I'd like to tell you that I grew up in a parsonage, and we often had missionaries come to our house and stay at our home because my father being a minister, he was always the host. And I always took a very dim view of missionaries because they always looked different and they acted different and they certainly did speak differently about life. And I couldn't really understand it. But when I had the opportunity to go to Russia, the first time, I understood how those people must have felt in their missionary work. I had never thought of myself as being a missionary, but really any time that you go somewhere out of your own little environment, you are a missionary because you take with you your faith and your values and you share them with someone else. And it was a marvelous opportunity to do that and to meet these new people who turned out to be such warm, caring friends over the years that I've been back.
As much as we have in our lives, and we all have a lot in the United States. We live in nice homes, and we have plenty to eat, and we have nice clothes, and we have transportation and anything we really need or want. And when I first went to Russia, and then after I've kind of gotten to know them a little bit, I was really concerned about the fact that we had so much and they had so little. But there has never been a hint of jealousy. There's never been a hint of, I wish I lived your life. It has always been at the level of, you're my friend, and whatever happens to you happens to me. I mean, you can't even imagine how that makes you feel, you know, especially over a period of years where things happen in your family, things happen in their families, and you've shared that. I mean, it really changes your life.
It really meant a lot to be over there, not only to capture it through film and documenting the event, but just to be there and meet all the people and be able to just share in the experience together. It was great being over there and seeing our church family over there and just seeing the impact that we have on each other and just be able to worship together and share in each other's company. If I had the opportunity to go back, I definitely would. It's a great time, great experience, and really opened me up to see further beyond myself. It really challenges you to look deep inside and challenge your faith because you kind of see their church family and see it from things from their perspective as well as your own and how the two kind of intermix and intertwine. Everyone sang happy birthday to Pastor Nadia, wishing her good health and happiness. Everyone told her she is an example to them, and they want her to be proud of them. There are only 2 organs in Ulyanovsk. One is located at the Regional Philharmonic, and the other is at Ulyanovsk United Methodist Church. There has only been one organist for the past 20 years in Ulyanovsk, and his name is Dmitry Titov.
St. Luke's
sent their first delegation to Ulyanovsk, Russia in 1992, but I didn't get to go until 1995. And since then, I think I've gone on 14 or 15 trips. So it's about 1 or 2 times a year that I've led a group over. We've done a number of different things. We've had vacation Bible schools, youth camps, adult Bible camps. We've done hospital work and brought medical supplies and equipment that some of the doctors that we work with there needed. So it's really a vast number of different things that we engage in when we're working in Russia. We really just involve ourselves in the community, and as such we live in people's homes and have gotten to become members of the family in the homes that we stay, so that as we go back year after year, it's not going to visit, it's actually going back home.
Truly, by staying in private homes, we have the opportunity to be the hands and feet of Christ by making personal connections with our hosts. And by the end of the trip, the hardest moment is leaving our new and old friends behind.